Hello, everyone. I hope you're well. Bitcoin this morning. So I've got Bitcoin here on a daily chart. Let's have a look at the Fibonacci retracement. As you can see, we've moved ahead of the moving averages now. And this moving average here is going to start sloping upwards and going above the 50, which is bullish. We'll have a look at the Fibonacci retracement let's have a look from the high in August down to the low and see where we're at with that. As you can see, we've hit the 618, spot on the 618. I must tell my contemporary about this because that's the big one. We've hit the 618 and we've bounced back off of that resistance, quite strong resistance, because we've come quite a way back, $200 nearly. This is a very interesting chart at the moment, the situation with Bitcoin, because we came down to that 21-week EMA and we have bounced off of that perfectly. We touched on it a couple of times, and the 21-week EMA is the key moving average. And I tried to explain that many times, and maybe people will listen to me now. But yeah, that's uncanny. That's uncanny. And look, A, B, C. We've had the correction there. We had the correction, the C wave, and now we're going back up. Let's have a look at another Fibonacci. Let's have a look at another one because it's always interesting to get the big picture as well. So let's go back. Let's stay on the daily chart, or let's have a look at the 3-day chart actually. So we look at the 3-day Bitcoin chart. Bit more of a zoom out exercise. The moving average, the 50 on the 3 days, interesting. As you can see, we're just above that now, and that's bullish. That's bullish. Hang about. Bear with me a second. No, that's that there. Yeah, that's there. So sorry, the 150 day is interesting because we usually use that. It's similar. The 21-week EMA is about 147 day moving average. So the 50 on the 3-day chart is similar because it's 150 days, and it's as you can see, we've come down very close to it and sort of come back down in the C wave, came back down to it and gone back up. These are bullish signs. These are bullish signs for Bitcoin at the moment. What I would say though is the volume is weak. The volume, let's skirt back to the 4-hour chart because I'm not confident with these volume levels. It's the only thing that is a little bit, for me, there we had a big buy in this on October the 8th. We're the 10th now. So this was Thursday, 1 p.m. US Open time. Just before the US Open, we had picked up a bid then, and we did have a bit of volume. Since then, this volume is low. Very low volume there. And as we speak, Bitcoin is correcting a little bit. But that's low volume. These bars here. For bullish maneuver, look, this is high volume. But some of that's buying volume because of the wick. You see the long wick on the bottom of this here? Are you with me there? On the 1st of October, you have a big lower wick. That's where the price has come down and then buying power's shoved it back up. So then you get a big volume bar, which is red, but it's probably mainly buy volume. You can look into that, but it depends what exchange you're on. It's not a great accurate thing, that. So I'm a little bit weary about this bullish maneuver. Although the long-term charts look bullish, I think that this is not substantial volume to be calling we've finished the correction. Although it is beginning to look, that we could be about to go into a new wave. I'd be interested to look for more resistance. Let's have a look at the 3-day chart. The 3-day chart will tell us nicely from the lows in March. Let's get up. My ugly mug's in the way at the moment. I might flip off camera off my head. So let's get rid of that. Right, let's have a look here. So yeah, as you can see, volume has been declining. We did have heavy volume in March, but this is Bitstamp. So I might look at Binance in a minute, but let's have a look at this. From there to there, we bounced. We came along that 236, didn't we? It's not. This is not. This was more of a freak, an intermediary black swan. This was an intermediary black swan, and I don't think it's the best one to go by. I think the lows here is where this new thing began. So I think the lows on the 26th of June, because we had a cycle here of upwards, and then we had a consolidation. We had a low, and then we began an upward movement. I like to use that one, and I know that a couple of my contemporaries do too, because we came down ideally to this 618 mark and touched upon that perfectly almost, as you can see there. So we were in this golden range when we came down, and then we came back up and then used the 50 as well in this range here. You use the 50, fib 50 at 10,634, and then today, bullish, breaking through the 382, very bullish. We didn't quite get to the 236. Now, it's all very subjective, Fibonacci, where you put your Fibonacci. Very subjective. If we look, let's have a look at Bitcoin zoomed out for a bit. I do like to have a look at the longer term charts, because they're also very telling as well. Quite a lot of moving averages. Let's just hide some of these moving averages. On the weekly chart, what moving averages do I like to look at normally on a weekly chart? The 20 obviously is an interesting one. The 50, I don't really use that, to be honest. The 50 on this chart, I'm going to hide that one. The 100 weekly moving average, again, not the 200 is the big one. The 200 marks the bottom of a bear market, and it's when you should ideally wait in the market cycle and buy Bitcoin and altcoins when Bitcoin gets to the 200, because it always signals the bottom of the bear market. Always. I mean, here, perfect. Look, can you see that? This is a big sign. I know this is not now. We're not worried about it. But look, this was the bottom. As soon as it touched the 200, this blue line here, that's the bottom. Buy in. Boom. Again, touch the bottom. Boom. So as you can see, that moving average, that 200 week, I've gone through this before. I've spoken about this before. But just next time, when the next bubble cycle comes and we start going down, wait all the way until it goes to that 200 weekly moving average. Again, bottom of the bear market, September 2015. Buy at the bottom, boom. Right, we're looking at the weekly chart now. Let's have a look at where we think. So yeah, we've got the big highs there. So we've got the big highs here. I haven't looked at this before. This is ad hoc, okay? I'm not sure. I don't like it when it does that. I need a bigger screen when it does that. That's the thing. Right. Oh. Get rid of that. Right, it's drawing when I don't want to draw. Right, let's start again. Right, draw now. Oh, look, that's in the way. That's the problem. Right, move this over here. Right, I'm going to have to... Oh, I need a bigger screen. I need a screen like my friend Peter. Right, let's go there. This is always an interesting chart. It's just amazing Fibonacci retracements on long-term charts. Incredible. This is what I love looking at. So from the high in December 2017, round at, well, it says 19 to, well, yeah, it says 19671. And I think it was more than that. 19666. Oh, we're right there, yeah. This is Bitstamp. Right, down to the lows in December. No, that's the lows of March. I want to go lows of December. That's the one I want to look at. Well, I've got that arrow. Yeah, those lows were 3, 1. Yeah, they're. Hang on, I want to get this accurate for you guys. So that candle there, hang about, let's get rid of that. That candle there, the low, was 3122. The next candle was 3122 is the low of that candle there on the 10th of December 2018. So let's get that accurate because it is nice. Yep, there we are. Spot on. Spot on. Right. Bitcoin has, as you can see, it came down to the 236 for a long time in November 19. And I'd just sold up here somewhere, up. And I was debating whether or not to buy in that low there. That was the 236. And it skirted along there. We went back up. We got above the 382. And then we had the intermediary black swan where we came right down, even below the 200 weekly. That was a big event. But you could tell when it went below that 200 weekly, I wish I was there live and had the chart out because then the buying power, I mean, look at the volume bar. Look at the volume bar. Let's get rid of this silly thing here. Look at that volume bar there. That's where there was massive sell, and then because it went so low, smart money jumps on top of it, and you get huge volume. You get volume like back to when 2017, when there was a 0.85 trillion market cap. So yeah, that was a big buying point. Bargain. I got involved around May. Bitcoin had gone up, but I bought a lot of altcoins in this bit here. So Bitcoin had got back up to, see, my friend Peter, he bought really low. He did so well, but he didn't buy a lot of alternative coins. He bought mainly Bitcoin and XRP, which is fair enough because they're the big coins. They're reliable. They're not going to go out of business tomorrow. But yeah, I bought a lot of altcoins here because this is when the altcoin season really kicked off. When it was here, Bitcoin. So Bitcoin was around the low 8,000 mark, and around 11th of May, the altcoins went bananas from there. As Bitcoin went sideways, the altcoins went crazy. So then Bitcoin got stuck at the 382, stuck at the 382, and then boom, here we go in July, back up above the 50. And now, look at how Fibonacci's work perfectly. We're stuck now. Oh gosh, this is exciting times. We've come back up and we've tested the Fib 50. On the long term, there's a big zoom out chart, the all important chart really, because this is the highs of 17 to the lows of 18 and everything else in between. This is the big fib. This is the big fib that matters. The incredible Fibonacci, retracement Fibonacci. This is the big one. It really is. I can't explain how much. Once we get above that, the next target is 13,349. 13,349. We got above there, and then we couldn't stay above because we kept coming back down to use it as support. We had no strength in August. We've had no strength. We didn't ever look like we were going to go and test the 618. It was about using the 50 as support for 3 or 4 weeks. Then we've come back down, and now we're going back up. And now this Fib 50, get above that and hold it as support. Then we're looking at 3,349. So Bitcoin is very interesting at the moment. I'm not going to look at the short-term chart of Bitcoin because I'm going to jump on to the all-important one for me at the moment. The one that's affecting Bitcoin the most, the US dollar. Let's have a look at the Dixie. Look, from the lows and the dollar in February 18, so when Bitcoin was at its highs, this was weak. The Dixie has come down. It's tested the 786 nearly. And then yesterday it went back above the 618, but now it's gone below. It couldn't get through the 618 when it attempted, and it's dropped. It's dropped to 93 levels. Now, if it comes down to the 786 again at 91.41, that could be enough to boost Bitcoin so much that Bitcoin will go in search of that 618. The dollar has a big influence on Bitcoin. It has a big influence on gold and on Bitcoin. Because, for example, look, in the Dixie, the US dollar, when we're low in there, this was when Bitcoin was at its all-time highs. And look, bear market in the Dixie, bear market. Right down here, when Bitcoin was the altcoins and that, we were looking at a 0.85 trillion market cap, so 850 billion market cap in crypto. The dollar was low. The dollar was down to 88. Now, let's have a big zoom out and see how low that is. So in real terms, going back to 2014, the dollar was very weak then. So that low in that regard of 2018 is not that low. So I think we could come back down here and double bottom. Now, if the dollar comes and double bottoms, that will be enough to boost Bitcoin so much that Bitcoin will go on another FOMO hype bull run. I've not heard this from anybody. This is my original work. This is my original look at this. No one has told me to look at the dollar on a weekly time frame. Nobody. I'm telling you that this could double bottom here. From the high, bottom, up there, double bottom, $88. Now, that would mean that Bitcoin will start FOMO market. That's incredible. That is really incredible. Right, now let's have a look at the dollar on a big zoom out picture. The dollar is the all-important one, the strength of the US dollar. Right, so all-time lows there in 2008. I'm not going to use that because this is a big picture. These are monthly candles. So what I want to look at in the dollar is when the trend started. I think, that is not a trend where you can start a fib from because it's had too many intermediary highs and lows. I think you could start a fib there. You could do it from there. Right, let's just start a fib from here. Let's take this one. Right, we came to the 618 perfectly in February 2018. From the lows in May 14, wow, touched the 618, the golden, bounced right back up. Now the 382 is resistance. Perfect resistance on the monthly time frame. These are monthly candles. That is incredible. Now, if the dollar goes back to the Fib 50, or from the other chart, the one we were looking at, double bottoms, Bitcoin will FOMO. Bitcoin will go through the roof. We're going to have some more looks at these charts later on.